I have a saying, and I hope it's not too cheesy. I like to make photographs, not take photographs. And I think that still life really allows you to create from start to finish. You kind of make it all come together as a puzzle, and you create magic from that. My name is Aurélie Graillot. I am a still life photographer. I focus mostly in beauty and cosmetics, and I work here in New York City. I feel like I was born with the love of photography. As a kid, I would always have photographs like literally on every inch of my wall. But I didn't really discover professional photography until after I got outside of school. I hadn't really recognized or had anybody in my life who was a professional photographer. So it's not until I came to New York and I actually met an assistant to Regan Cameron who started telling me about what he did on set, and that inspired me to go immediately to Milk Studios and get myself an internship. And that was the beginning. What's important to me is really minimizing variables. I think that is a really big part of why I'm in still life as well. I like to focus on one thing at a time. So with lighting, I set one light up, I see how it impacts the entire scene, then I switch off the modeling light, I go to the next light. But it's adding to it one variable at a time until it all comes together. A challenge that I often have really comes with focus stacking and keeping lights consistent. So when you have seen that you need to focus stack, let's say the focus stack is like 20 frames that you need in order to get what you want in focus and what you don't want not in focus. So when you have those 20, your lights have to be consistently going off. And when that doesn't happen, you have to do it over and over again. And that poses so many problems just from, the biggest one is you lose so much time. And then when you have 5, 6, 7, 8 plates to do on top of it, you have to do it all over again. Broncolor doesn't have that. It does it consistently every time. You have the same color temperature over every frame, the same output over every frame. There aren't dropped frames. Everything is consistent, and you are just seamlessly able to get through the shoot, and you're not losing all that time. I absolutely love the Pico light, particularly with the Pico box. I think that just brings such a beautiful highlight to textures in particular. What I love about the Para, particularly when I shoot models or skin, I love the way that it glows on the skin. All of the different facets on the actual shaper, it just brings such a beautiful glow. My favorite Broncolor feature is probably the ability to freeze, the flash duration when you're doing liquids. I have had a lot of problems with other brands in being able to actually freeze motion. When you're throwing water across a set and throwing it pretty forcefully, just being able to freeze it on a dime is probably my favorite feature. So I actually did all of my learning for photography by assisting. It was really important to me to learn from a lot of different photographers and to get that library of lighting knowledge so I could apply it to my own career. My mentor, Frédéric Lagrange, is probably the most impactful on how I approach shoots. I learned a lot about production with him. He's a travel photographer, and so we'd go all over the world, and I would have to figure out how to troubleshoot on location and how to produce on location. Bringing that knowledge base to what I do now is probably the most influential. I think that there's so much pre-production that happens in order for a shoot to be successful that for me it was really lining all your ducks in a row before you go. So if you're going to go travel to another country, you have to make sure you have everything set up before you get there. So you have to make sure to think about everything in advance. That's what I really try to think about with still life.